welcome to another episode of Topia Talk with your host, Amani.
Edwin.
And Antonio.
And on this week's episode, we're going to talk about Dragon Ball DAIMA. It just recently ended, so now we're going to share our opinions on it. Let me just say, rest in peace to Akira Toriyama. It's been 1 year since his passing. And real quick, I'll talk about the positives of Dragon Ball DAIMA, what I liked. The animation was good. Can't hate on the animation. And Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is canon now. With that being said, that's all I liked about it. So let's get into what I didn't like. The two biggest negatives of Dragon Ball Daima is one, the Demon World. They were hyping up the Demon World. That's the main point of Dragon Ball Daima, is us going to the Demon World. It's supposed to be a whole new adventure. And the Demon World is boring as fuck. There's almost nothing interesting about the Demon World. The only things that are unique to the Demon Realm are the bugs and the plants that you can only find there. And it's hard to fly in the Demon World. And also, the Demon World has two suns. Other than that, the Demon World is very similar to Earth. They have hotels, they have cheeseburgers, they have bars. The demon armies have guns and tanks. It's basically Earth 2.0. There's nothing special about the demon realm. They went through all this trouble to hype it up, and it's basically just Earth. It was very disappointing. So that's complaint number one. Complaint number two is the pacing of the show. It was so slow and so boring and so horrible. Almost nothing interesting happens throughout the entire anime. And I'm gonna just quickly go over the series of events that happens, and you tell me if this is too slow and too boring or if it's just right. All right, real quick. First half of episode 1, the main villain, it's a recap. He recaps Dragon Ball Z. And it's not until the last minute when he turns them into kids. Mind you, we've been waiting years for this to drop. And the first episode is just a recap. And you have to wait a week for episode 2, alright? So we've already waited some years. Now you have to wait another week, and then you get into episode 2. Episode 2, they show everyone as kids, and they're getting used to their bodies again. And it's not until the last 3 minutes when Glorio shows up to take Goku to the Demon Realm to help them defeat King Goma. Mind you, they don't go to the Demon Realm. He just says, "Hey, yo, I'm here to pick you up, and we have to go." Now you have to wait another week. And then 10 minutes into episode 3, they finally go to the Demon Realm, and you get a look at it. And Goku says, "Man, this is pretty similar to Earth. I thought it was going to be creepier." And then Supreme Kai says, "Oh yeah, but the ecology is different, like the plants and animals is different." And then they go to a hotel, Goku eats a burger, and they get into a fight, and then they go to sleep. We're 3 episodes in, and we're just now making it to the Demon Realm, but it's not that special. You fast forward another week. Episode 4, they go to a store so they could get some bugs. Basically, they get like sensu beans, but instead of a bean, it's a bug. And they get fusion bugs. So if 2 people eat the bugs, they fuse. Spoiler alert, they never use the fusion bugs. They introduce it just to never use them. So that's just complete waste of time. Fast forward another week. Episode 5. Supreme Kai suspects Glorio is a traitor, and then Goku goes Super Saiyan to fight Glorio during the practice match. Episode 5, you have to wait until episode 5 just to get to Super Saiyan. And even then, it's only a practice match. Fast forward another week, episode 6, they show Bulma and Vegeta's spaceship breaking down, and it's going to be a while until they show up to the Demon Realm. Mind you, in the opening theme and the ending theme, they show everyone together having fun in the Demon Realm. We are 6 episodes in. Vegeta is still on Earth. Vegeta, Piccolo, Bulma, they're still on fucking Earth. Fast forward another week, episode 7. Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma finally make it to the Demon Realm, but they are very behind Goku, and they have to retrace all of Goku's steps. And then Goku runs into a Tamagotchi 1 in the last minute. Basically, the Tamagotchis, whatever they're called, you have to fight all 3 of them and get the Dragon Balls, and then they could turn back into adults. Fast forward another week, and then they finally fight Tamagotchi 1. Goku beats him, and in the last minutes of the episode, they show that Vegeta and them are still catching up. We're on episode 8. Vegeta and them still haven't caught up. Fast forward another week, episode 9. Goku's team goes to another hotel and they get into another fight. And then Vegeta's team, they go to a bar and they get into a fight at the bar. And then they finally catch up to Goku, but they have to leave him behind because Vegeta's spaceship breaks down. And then Goku's spaceship doesn't have enough space. So they're like, hey, yo, we're going to go on ahead. You guys call it Uber. All right. It's not until episode 10 where they finally start to travel together. Mind you, there's only 20 episodes. We're on episode 10 and they just start to travel together. Vegeta's team and Goku's team. Fast forward to episode 12, Vegeta fights Tomodachi 2 and goes Super Saiyan 3. And then they have Majin Buu fight Tomodachi 3. Fast forward to episode 13, they fight a giant kid. It was mad boring. Episode 13 was boring as shit. Fast forward, episode 15, they fight an army and struggle. Again, it was mad boring. I don't know how the fuck they were struggling to fight an army. And you could argue, oh, they got the demon technology, demon magic. That's not a good excuse, bro. Like, all of them are super powerful. Like, Master Roshi literally destroys the moon in Dragon Ball, like episode 20. They should be wiping these guys with ease. It doesn't matter if they're kids or not. Like, that's not an excuse. Fast forward episode 16, they fight the Discount Ginyu Force, and they're super weak. They literally beat them in 2 seconds. I don't know why the fuck they wasted our time with that shit. And they enter the demon castle to look for the king. Episode 18, the Demon King gets the third eye, and they start fighting Goku and them. And then, I forgot his name, Nueva, whatever, the Namekian, he helps Goku go Super Saiyan 4 for the first time. No explanation how, he just sticks his hands out, give Goku some energy, and then he goes Super Saiyan 4. You just have to deal with it. Episode 19, Glorio turns them back
My bad,
into
not to
adults.
cut you off, but they actually did say that he did pay for that shit. It wasn't the Namekian.
No, I know. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to
Oh,
it.
okay, okay. Just to make sure. Just to make sure.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So episode 19, Glorio turns them back into adults, right? And remember, episode 5, they were saying, oh, he might be a traitor. Glorio doesn't betray them once. He doesn't do a single bad thing. They literally said, oh, he might be a traitor, try to build up some hype, try to build up some tension. There is no tension. He was never a traitor, and then he helps them turn back into adults. Yeah, episode 19, they're still boxing the Demon King, but the Demon King has infinite stamina, infinite revives thanks to the Demon Eye. Episode 20, they find out that the Demon King's weakness is to hit him in the back of the head 3 times to knock out the Demon Third Eye. This is fucking terrible. Like, that weakness, hit him in the back of the head, that's how you defeat Bowser in fucking Super Mario.
Right.
Like, hit him 3 times, that's how you defeat Dr. Eggman with the 3 spin dash attacks. That is not how you should be able to defeat a final villain in fucking Dragon Ball. That is a terrible fucking weakness to have. And then it gets even worse because Goku distracts him with a beam clash. He wins it, leaves a giant hole in his stomach. And then Piccolo goes in. He tries to hit him in the back of the head 3 times. He only hits him twice. And then he gets knocked out with a punch. And then he heals himself so he doesn't have the giant hole in his stomach. And then Majin Buu lands 3 hits with a book. Literally 3 hits with a fucking book. Knocks the Demon Eye out and then they fucking win. And then they put the Demon King in jail for 99 years. But the jail has like video games in a garden. So they're just chilling, like, okay, yeah, let's just have the final villain play video games for 99 years. That's really going to show him. He's going to learn his lesson, yeah. And then at the end, they explain it. They say, oh, Goku trained for Super Saiyan 4. He wasn't sure if it was going to work. Vegeta says that's some bullshit, and Goku's treating it like it's a bargain sale of Super Saiyans. I just hate the explanation so much. Like, him training for it is a terrible explanation. At least in GT, they explain it like, oh, they had to master the Great Ape form. Goku regrows his tail, and then he turns into a Great Ape, and then he masters it and turns into the Super Saiyan 4. That was a great explanation. You know, they had to go back to the Saiyan's roots, and that was good. I don't know why they changed it for Daima. And then at the final seconds of episode 20, they show that they're selling the Demon Third Eye at the store. You can literally buy the eye at the fucking store, bro. That's like if there was a planet full of infinity stones and you could just grab the infinity stones whenever you want. If they were selling the fucking chaos emeralds at a store, bro, like why would you have a super unique powerful item and just be selling them shits at a store? That shit doesn't make any sense. With all that being said, the pacing was terrible, the demon world sucked. I did not like Dragon Ball Daima. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, let me tell you, I didn't know the last part with the third eye being able to be sold at the store. That's where I turned it off. I turned it off like 5 minutes left of the show. I got pissed off when Majin Ku became the fucking lord of the demon world. I thought that was a little bit not needed, not needed. And then he just started going around like, "All right, I'm the king. You're a minister. You're a minister. I guess you're a minister. You could be a minister. Yeah, you were in the show for like 5 minutes. You're a minister."
Mhm.
Automatically kind of just fucking with the lore already because now is the demon world canon now? Is he gonna pop up in new fucking Dragon Ball content in the future? I don't know. Definitely did a lot of goofiness around to where this didn't have to be a show. Even with the explanations, they definitely did a way better job in the past with GT connecting it back to like the Saiyan roots. Here it's just like, more training. Of course, more fucking training. But honestly, this show shouldn't have happened. How you feel about this, Edwin?
But before I even say anything, let me just say that we are Dragon Ball fans. We grew up with Dragon Ball. We love Dragon Ball. I mean, I have 861 fucking hours on Fighters alone. That's literally the equivalent to like a month, okay? And like 66 hours and other shit. Like, I play Dragon Ball. I watch it. I love the fuck out of Dragon Ball. So it hurts me when we get stuff like this because I know the potential of the series. I know how good it can be. Right. So with that being said, here's my little review. Dragon Ball Daima is One Piece without the good story, just the animation. So what I mean by that is that for the last 6 or 7 years, people have been deriding One Piece, saying that it's only good right now because of the animation. And if it wasn't for the animation, it would not receive the level of hype it has right now. Right. And while I can
Oh,
say that there
okay.
are parts of One Piece that are truthfully dragged out, the overall story for one is amazing. And it's been consistently amazing even before the animation got to movie level. Okay. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for Dragon Ball Daima. To me, Dragon Ball lost everything that made it so special. Like what was once a thrilling series of martial arts, accelerating back and forth fights, and moments that felt truthfully consequential. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z brought everything that people know and love about the franchise. And unfortunately, we lost all that shit when Dragon Ball Super released and with the fucking Dragon Ball Daima. So I'm only referencing the Dragon Ball Super and like Daima. I'm not referencing the movies because I do feel if they only focused on movies, Dragon Ball would be in a better place than it is now because the movies actually get like attention and love for quality and they actually feel like they continue the story. Whereas the Dragon Ball series and Daima are the complete opposite. It feels like they're just focusing on merchandise. The series overall had zero consequences, and it was absolutely unnecessary for the story and the franchise. It added nothing except plot holes and controversies, and overall, it was just disappointing. While the animation is absolutely crisp, A1, the story feels like it was written by AI. It honestly feels like if you gave someone a Dragon Ball Z recap on YouTube and then told them to write this shit. That's really what it feels like. The story tries to add obstacles for the main cast, but the obstacles feel like the yellow tape at a police crime scene, where it's like you're not supposed to go in there, but who's really gonna stop you? Like no one's gonna stop you unless there's an actual person there, right? And that's generally what it feels like. It added zero type of threat to the overall narrative, and it took them one episode to get accustomed to their new bodies. And after that, they never struggled or really struggled with any of the fights, and it never felt like anyone was truly in danger. I want you to think about that. It's an action anime. We're dealing with demons traveling to different realms, dealing with magical artifacts. No one was in danger. No consequences. Just keep that in mind. All right. Throughout the series, like I said before, the show does nothing but add plot holes, um, which I'm sure you've already heard of, but here's some that just really stand out, like Goku having Super Saiyan 4. If Goku really has Super Saiyan 4, there's no reason why he wouldn't have pulled it out in the beginning of Super when he's fighting Beerus. And they specifically tell us that Super Saiyan 3 is his limit.
Mhm.
There is nothing in the series in Daima to explain why there would be any reason why Goku could not use the Super Saiyan 4 after the series is over. It was not a form limited, nor was it a form that had to be unlocked by any type of demon. So why
Right.
could it never be used again? And another thing that stands out is that during Super, when they're looking for contestants, like people to fight in the tournament of power, why did we never look to the demon realm to recruit all the new powerful allies that we have?
Oh,
Like,
true.
Exactly.
right? Now I understand that Super came out before Daima and they didn't have the knowledge of the existing characters, obviously. But Daima came out after Super, and it genuinely doesn't feel that way because it has zero it has zero attention to details, and it feels like an insult to fans. It actually feels like they think that the fans don't watch or pay attention to the show, that they wouldn't be able to notice the multitudes of plot holes and just bullshit that they're adding. It's an insult. Like, it genuinely feels like they did not care enough to just be consistent with the story, and that's honestly insulting to us. But before I even say that, I do want to acknowledge that Akira Toriyama was an incredible artist, incredible writer. He brought us Dragon Ball. It was an amazing gift to the world, and I will always appreciate that, but he was not the perfect creator either. Okay, I understand that a lot of people's defense for Daima is that it was his last work, but I need to also point out that this is the same man that would consistently forget characters, transformations, and overall entire plot points in his own series that he wrote, and that shit added to a multitude of plot holes throughout the entire series. But those are all things that we could always like overlook for our love for the series. But Daima just again takes it to a whole other extent. There's too many plot holes, and it genuinely feels like nothing but a cash grab. They did not care enough to be consistent with the series. And for the other people that say that it's supposed to be an OG vibe, go back to the OG ways. When in Dragon Ball did they OG Dragon Ball, right? Kid Goku. When did they ever travel to another world, another realm? When did they consistently fly? When did they ever transform? When did they ever have beam clash? They rarely used key attacks. So I ask those people, where are the OG vibes? Nothing in Daima gives OG vibes. It's literally a rewrite of GT, but worse. It's like if you got GT on a fucking flash sale. They didn't care enough to even put as much fucking love as they did to fucking GT. And if you wanted to focus on or have an OG vibe for Dragon Ball, you have an ensemble cast. You have kids that are already in the series. You have Trunks and Goten in the series, and they have friends already. Why not just have Daima be about, I don't know, their parents getting trapped in the demon realm? Now Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo got to go save them. That could have been a much better version of Daima because, for one, you don't have to turn the entire cast into kids, which is stupid and again adds zero consequences or threats. And two, you get to expand on a multitude of characters that we've had for like 25 fucking plus years. And we're just now starting to get development on them in the manga, but that's still not enough. Daima is an overall waste. It adds nothing to the series. And everything they said it was supposed to do and add, it didn't. It has nothing to do with Super. It doesn't lead into Super. As far as we know, none of the future projects have anything to do with the Demon Realm.
No.
Daima was a waste, and unfortunately, it was the last thing Akira Toriyama worked on. I wish it wasn't. I wish his last thing he worked on would have just been the Brawley movie or superheroes
Yeah,
and
this
left it at
was
that.
honestly a bad send off. Like I feel like this is just him just bringing things into like a full circle, or at least bringing his old projects or old ideas into canon. But he honestly didn't need to do that. If this
Yeah.
was just a simple movie, like a non-canon movie, or at least like, like by the way, Vegeta can go Super Saiyan 3, Goku can go Super Saiyan 4. That's fine. He didn't need to drag it for 20 freaking episodes.
Yeah, like I
Simple.
said, this they could have just done so. They could have done all of that without turning them into kids. Like I said, Trunks, Goten, Demon Realm, save our parents. They're not powerful enough to actually fight the final threat, but they did end up freeing Goku and Vegeta. Bam, Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. Goku pushed to his limits. Fuck it, Super Saiyan 4 because he's in the Demon Realm. Just tie it to the Demon Realm, the transformation to the Demon Realm, and that's it. It would have been so simple. Like Amani said, they do nothing to actually explain how he gets the form. He trained for it. Fucking bullshit. You trained for it. How the
Right.
fuck did you grow a tail back from training? That makes zero absolute fucking sense. And if you train for it, where does it go? Where does it go? Dragon Ball Daima is an insult to every true Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah, it was a tough watch. Also to add on what you were saying about people comparing it to OG Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball is way better. Like pacing wise, joke wise, like the jokes were better. All
Hmm.
the fart jokes and all of that in Daima were fucking terrible and cringe. They did it way
Hmm.
better in the OG Dragon Ball, and even the pacing in OG Dragon Ball is way better. Compare the first 20 episodes to OG and Daima, it is fucking night and day. The first 20 episodes of OG Dragon Ball, you get introduced to Goku, Bulma, Master Roshi, Chi-Chi, Oolong, Yamcha, Peru, they get all of the Dragon Balls. They summon the dragon. Goku trains with Master Roshi, and they enter the Tenkaichi tournament. All of that in 20 episodes. Beautiful. Chef kiss. The pacing was great. Compare that to the first 20 episodes of Daima. It is so slow. It is hard to watch. Barely anything happens. And when something cool does happen, it lasts for like 2 seconds and you're back to the boring shit.
Right.
Hmm.
But honestly, yeah, this was a tough watch. You guys want to add anything else?
Nah, nah. Honestly, like I said, we're not just hate watching. We genuinely are just disappointed. We all grew up with Dragon Ball. We want this shit to be good, and unfortunately, it has not been good. It's just bad. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
we're just watching it, keeping an eye out for it, just for Toriyama's sake. Condolences to him, but he was not cooking.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was supposed to be like
I'm thinking about
fucking
superhero.
Naruto, what, the Rock Lee series, how Rock Lee had his own little show and it was all chibi form. It was supposed to be like that, but then Akira Toriyama got involved and he changed the entire thing and
Nah,
it just
nah, it
wasn't
should.
good.
It wasn't it. Like we honestly could have gone like a short little like what do you call those little like short comic strips that they have in like
One shots.
one shots? This should have just been a one shot. Called it a
Yeah.
day. Nice to have. Nice to know that we have a Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be in Sparking Zero sooner or later.
Hmm.
That's definitely a guaranteed.
Yep, and they already are doing the Dragon Ball Kakarot. They already released the release date for that. So,
Like I said, it's all about merchandise. They don't care
mhm.
about the quality.
Exactly. That's what it feels like, honestly. It sucks to see. It honestly sucks to see. And I feel like most of the fan base is eating it up because they had the new transformations and the nice animation. And as long as they have that, Dragon Ball fans, for the most part, are going to be happy with it. That's what I was seeing on Twitter. Everybody just enjoying the shit. People were saying, like, oh, I turn your brain off. I hate that argument so much. That's like the equivalent of when people say, "Oh, this game's fun with friends." Like anything is fun with friends. Going to work can be fun if you're going to friends. That doesn't mean the job is fun. That doesn't mean the game is good.
Right.
That same thing when they say, "Oh, you just got to turn your brain off and enjoy it." Like you're watching a show, you're watching a movie. The whole point of it is to enjoy the plot and the story and the characters. And you can't do that with Daima. So it's a bad anime at the end of the day. But with that being said, hey, that was our opinions on it. Let us know if you liked it, if you enjoyed it. And with that being said, we'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.